Hey, how y'all doing out there? I'm back with you with another video. Today I want to talk about my first impressions of the LG V60. Now, of course, this phone was released in February of last year, 2020, and it comes fully unlocked for all your carriers. Now, normally this phone, well, it can come with the dual screen case with it, or it cannot. Now, when I purchased it, it did not come with the dual screen case, which didn't matter to me because I had the LG G8X and I did not like the dual screen case. Now, I know some people out there probably love the dual screen case, and I'm sure it's a really good case, and it does what it needs to do for multitasking and all that, having a full screen to multitask as opposed to a split screen on one screen. And I understand that, and it had some good things where you could play a game and all. I understand all that. I don't play games on my phone, but the dual screen wasn't. I just didn't want that. I didn't need it because with the G8X, I did not like the dual screen case. I just didn't like it, and I didn't like that phone overall. So I didn't keep it. So with the dual screen not coming with this phone, did not bother me at all. Okay, I really just have no interest in it, because the case for me is just too big and too bulky, and I really would find myself not really using it much at all. So there's just no point. I know I can still get it later if I decide to, but honestly, I don't really want it. So this is not come. This doesn't come with the dual screen case. Just to let you know up front. All right, so back again, fully unlocked for all your carriers. Now I've had this phone for probably about a week and a half, so just going to be a quick impressions video, what I think of it, and then next week I'll do a full review on this device. Now, just really quick, I am going to say I am impressed with this device. Now, I didn't think I would, and I wasn't really going to pick up this device at all. I know there was a little bit of hype around it last year, and people just kept, most of the videos I've seen on it had been very, very positive. Of course, you always have a few that's not, but overall, the response to this device has been very, very positive. A lot of reviewers was calling this a very underrated phone, maybe the most underrated phone of the year, things like that. But because I didn't like the LG40, I didn't like that device, and I didn't like the LG G8X, I just didn't think this was going to be any different. But I was wrong. There's a lot of things about this device that I really like, and I'll share that with you real quick before I give you the specs. Now, I'm gonna tell you right now, I love the build quality of this device. It is excellent. The build quality is so good on this phone. I love it. It feels really, really comfortable in your hands. Without a case, very, very comfortable. Next thing, I love the battery life. The battery life on this phone is very, very impressive. Okay, very, very impressive. And the next thing that I really like, that I'm impressed by, is the display. Now, it doesn't have a Quad HD display, which I would prefer, but the display on the phone is very, very good, and it gets nice and bright. Okay, unlike the LG40 and the G8, they just didn't get that bright for me. Now, I'm the kind of person that I'm using 100% brightness. That's just the way I am, and I like a really, really bright, vivid display. Okay, so those are the only three things I'm going to say right now that has impressed me about this phone. Oh, one more thing I'll say: the dual stereo speakers. Unlike the G8X and the 40, these speakers are really, really good. They really impressed me, and I have a lot of phones with good dual speakers. These are very, very impressive. Okay, very impressive. So those are the only things I'm going to tell you right now that has impressed me about this phone. Of course, you'll get my whole long list of things that I like when I do my full review, and of course, there's going to be things that I don't like. Okay, that's just the way it's always going to be, and it's like that with anybody that gets a device or anything. There's always going to be something about something you don't like. It's very seldom that something's absolutely perfect. It's just rare. So when I do my full review, I'm gonna list all the things that I like, and then I'll list all the things that I don't like, and then of course I'll get into the software. All right. Okay, so let me give you the specs really quick. Now, you're dealing with here with a 6.8-inch 1080p Full HD Plus POLED display. and you're getting a pixel density of 395. Okay, a screen to body ratio of 83.6%. You're getting HDR10 plus, Gorilla Glass 5 on the front, and Gorilla Glass 6 on the rear with an aluminum frame. You're getting IP68 water and dust resistant, an always on display, Android 10, which is going to be upgradable to Android 11 at some point. I don't know when that'll be because you know how slow LG is with software updates. You're getting the Snapdragon 865 with the Adreno 650 GPU. Top of the line specs here. You're getting expandable memory up to 2 terabytes, which I love. You're getting 128 gigs of internal storage. Now, they do have a 256 gig variant, but I ended up with the 128. Now, if I had known that, I would have grabbed the 256 gig variant, but I didn't know that at the time. You're getting 8 gigs of RAM, which I like that a lot because 6 is kind of the sweet spot, but 8's even better. So I like the fact that it has 8 gigs. You have dual stereo speakers, which I love. You get a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. Thank you so much, LG, for you the only company left with the flagship device that's not removed the headphone jack. Please keep the headphone jack alive. Now, there's other companies that have put the headphone jack on their budget and mid-tier devices, but removed them from their flagship devices, which I absolutely hate, and it doesn't make any sense to me. I hate that. So thank you, LG. Next thing, you got 32-bit hi-fi quad DAC. That's why you need that headphone jack, because LG makes one of the best quad DACs in the business. The only other phone that competes straight with them, now this is me, and it's because I have the device, is my Xiaomi Mi 10 Pro 5G. That 24-bit on there definitely competes with this phone here as far as sound quality. And that don't even have a headphone jack. But I'm telling you, the audio quality of sound through that phone is just as good as the quad DAC on this LGV60. I'm telling you, that's just what I hear with my ears. Some people may disagree. Some people may say, I don't know what I'm talking about. That's your opinion, and you're entitled to your opinion. This is my opinion based on my experience and what I hear with my ears. All right, next you got Bluetooth 5.1, FM radio. You get an in-display optical fingerprint sensor, which I like. You're getting a big whopping 5,000 milliamp battery, quick charge 4.0, wireless charging. Now, when it comes to the cameras, you're getting a 64 megapixel standard lens with optical image stabilization, a 13 megapixel ultra wide lens, and a 3 megapixel time of flight sensor. All right, excuse me. You're also getting dual LED dual tone flash, and the video shoots in 8K at 30 frames per second, 4K at 30 and 60 frames per second, and at 1080p at 30 and 60 frames per second. You're also getting 24-bit stereo sound recording with electric image stabilization. With the selfie camera, you're getting a 10 megapixel standard lens, and the video shoots in 4K at 30 frames per second with electric image stabilization. Now, that's all the specs that this phone has, and as you can hear from what I just read out to you, it's loaded with specs. I mean, this is a flagship phone, but it is missing a few things. Let me tell you what it's missing for me. Now, what's missing, what I'm going to say what's missing, probably other people would say it's not a big deal, I don't care about that, and that's you. This is what's missing for me. You know, when I think of a flagship phone, I think of a phone having everything and also keeping up with the current competition. All right. First thing this phone is missing is face unlock. Now, that is the most simple, elementary feature that's on pretty much every phone today. Even $150 phones, $200 phones have face unlock. Why LG omitted face unlock on this device is just mind-boggling to me. And they used to always have face unlock on their devices, but for some reason, for the last 3 versions of their phones, no face unlock, and I don't understand why. With my LGV30, that came with face unlock, and it worked really well. So I have no idea why they removed it. Why have a front-facing camera and no face unlock. So that doesn't make sense to me, and I definitely, don't like that. Next thing, no Quad HD Plus display. Now that's not the biggest deal in the world because the Full HD Plus POLED display looks great. I mean, it has a really, really nice display. But this is a flagship. Give us the option to use the Quad HD or use the Full HD Plus like Samsung does. They give you an option of 720p, which is HD, 1080p, which is Full HD Plus, and Quad HD Plus. They give us choices. LG, give us the option of using Quad HD display. Just make it possible. Next thing, no headphones in the box, which I absolutely hate because LG back in the day used to give you headphones. And they took headphones out of their boxes years ago, which I still don't like, especially with the quad DAC that you get. I don't understand why they just can't give us a pair of headphones. I don't even mind paying for them. Just put them in the box. So I don't like the fact that it doesn't come with any headphones. You got much cheaper devices coming with headphones. Next thing, no 4K recording at 60 frames per second on the front camera. Why? I have no clue. Doesn't make any sense to me. Next thing, no wide lens on the front camera. So LG used to have wide lens on the front camera, but for some reason it's not on this camera, and I definitely do miss that, especially if I'm trying to take a selfie. And the last thing, no high refresh rate. Now, I know that's not the biggest deal in the world. A lot of people don't care, or there's people that don't know the difference between 60 and 90. I do. There's definitely a difference. The phone is even snappier and it's more smooth going in and out of apps and the scrolling speeds. So my thing is, this is where the industry is going. I have a $220 phone that has 120 hertz refresh rate. So there was no reason for LG not to have put that on its phone. Now, I would have been cool with 90. It didn't have to give me 120, but 90 would have been cool. Just the option to have it would have been nice, especially this being a flagship phone and you want to compete with the big boys, with the other big companies, keep up with the competition. All right. So basically, those are all the specs and the things that to me that are missing. But I gotta tell you, I am definitely impressed with this device. Definitely, most definitely. The display, I got it up pretty bright. Let me turn it down a little bit, because I tell you, I like everything super bright. But this display is beautiful. Now, I don't like that implementation of that notch up there. I think they did a really poor job of that. And that's all I'm going to say about the display. I have another issue. I have to just talk about the display, but I'll save that for my review. But I'm impressed, with the speed, the fluidity, the brightness, the speakers, and the build quality. I'm definitely impressed. The Quad HD, the Quad DAC, that speaks for itself. That's always been great. So, and this design reminds me of the Samsung Galaxy S10. This is basically the camera setup. This is the way it looked. So I like the design of it as well. So I gotta tell you, I am impressed. I'm very impressed so far with this device. I didn't think I would be at all, because I'm not the biggest LG fan. And it ain't really about being a fan or not being a fan. It's like, some things you like, some things you don't like. To me, they just could do much better when it comes to certain things, especially with their skin. I use Nova Launcher because I don't like LG skin. And LG is very, 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 very bad with software updates. They're super, super slow. So that was just a quick first impressions of this device. I'll have a full review for you in about a week or so, and I'll let you know all the things I like and all the things that I don't like. All right, so thank you for taking the time to view this content. I do appreciate it, and I hope everybody out there is staying safe. This was my first impressions of the LGV60 5G. Peace.